Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. In this episode, we're going to do a new series that are called Standards Navigator. So you can see my little thumbnail here. I'll be playing guitar for you and we'll be pseudo-analyzing, but analyzing rather quickly the great standard, the great Miles Davis tune, which is not a standard, but it's now a standard by Miles Davis. So the song was first recorded on Miles Davis All-Star in, was it what, 1957, 58? Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll use the good old real book chart, but one thing I'll tell you right away is I dislike this because it's looking like a bunch of 3 bars, and this is essentially the same form as a blues. So what you can expect in this video is we'll go over the iReal version of this. I'll also bring up my scribbles because, you know, I love to write on my tablet here, and we'll do some harmonic analysis, then we'll do some playing. So this is the difference between pure harmonic analysis and my new video series now is that I intend to show you tips on how you can perform this both in soloing and comping. So let's get going. So analyzing the form, I said it's the same form as a blues. It's 12 bars, but it is not a 12-bar blues. It centers around the key of C minor, which I'll write on top here. So this is a C minor major 7, not a typo. So it is a chord that is a minor triad, but that would have a note like the B natural. Or also people would play a 6, like a minor 6 chord of sort, something like this. This is a better sound than the pure minor 7, which has a B flat. So this is not the song. This is really the song. And the name for this will be called tonic minor. So rarely do we see songs like this that will be in minor and then go to the chord that would be up a 4th. So in major. So in the case of blues, be C7 going to F7. I was like, well, C minor to F major, what? So that's a really interesting mood sort of piece, and it's still played at jam sessions. It's a lot of bang for your buck in studying this form. So the first chord is C minor, then again we go to F major, and we do so by going to a 2-5 in the key of F. So I'm gonna jot this down on my right side here. So the F is really, it's the 4, it's the true 4 of the piece, and then right before that, what we essentially have is the 2-5 of that key. So I'll show you how to address this in the soloing portion, but basically we're looking at these two things as already pertaining to the key of F major, which simplifies our deal tremendously. So we don't have to think about all the chords. Basically, we can think of making it from here, which is C minor, to there, which is F major. And when we land safely, we're like, oh, first milestone, very good. And then the song continues to go down by a whole step. So we went from C minor in bar 1 to F major in bar 5 to now E flat major in bar 9. So it's a whole step below. And I hesitate to call this flat 3, but it is a flat 3 chord. But what I want to emphasize here is the relationship between the C minor chord and the E flat major. So those are relative minor major, meaning if I'm playing in the key of C minor, it has the relative major key of E flat major, same as the relationship between A minor and C major, right? So those are a third apart. So we finally make it to our way there, then we do sort of a pseudo turnaround to get back to the top. And how it's happening is pretty ingenious. I'll get there in a moment. But here we have, again, we're going from F, that turns into an F minor, B flat 7, bar 7 and 8, and that's just, again, a 2-5 that's aiming at E flat. So if you want to summarize the song so far, whoops, my drawing are going crazy here. So I'm going to go from C minor to F major to E flat major. That's 90% of the song, guys. Like, even if you don't think of anything else, you know C minor. It's a minor key, then you go F major, right? And then E flat major. The same thing. Once you have that, you have most of all the song. Very good. Now let me start with the last bar. So the last bar is indeed just to turn around the 2-5 in the key of C minor. So it's D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 flat 9 of sorts. So that's the true 2-5 of that key, of the key of C minor. So when I do brackets, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my screen. If you're listening to in a podcast, just know that we have a video version of this as well. You can follow along. And then last mystery, we have bars 10 and 11. And the mystery here is no big mystery. Here's another key that's, again, a whole step down from the previous one. and before it, we have our 2/5. So if you bear with me for a moment, if we just stop thinking about all the crazy 2/5s, and we just think of the major keys, you can do a lot of damage in just a moment. Check this out. I'll play it on guitar. The C minor, da 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 da. F major, da 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 da. T da 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 T 2/5. So again, C minor, da 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 da. That's F. So C minor up to a 4, down a whole step, down a whole step, and back to 1. So if I play just these keys, so the C minor, the F major, the E flat major, the D flat major, already this is a cool. Imagine if I played a vamp like. These keys are falling apart very nicely, so that's why it's a great jam tune. It's like, it's a blues on steroids, interestingly. All right, so if I could, and now I'm going to sort of wrap up the harmonic analysis, we go into the standard navigation. If I could mentally eradicate the 2/5s that are going into each of the keys. So the 2/5 to the key of F is G minor 7, C7, F major. The 2/5 going into the key of E flat is F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major. The 2/5 going to D flat is E flat major, right? So if I could just remove that mentally and just, I'll draw on the screens here, just think of all this area as F. And then the next one, all this area is E flat, and all this area is D flat. I already have all the tools, and of course now when we hit 1, we shred on C minor. So I want to call this new YouTube series or podcast series the Standards Navigator, because this is what we've just done. We've learned to navigate the standard. Again, I highly recommend you learn the melody to that song. I'm not going to do it for YouTube for copyright issues, but the whole point here is after you learn the melody from Miles or Pat or even Brad Meldau or other great players of Bill Evans has a great version as well, then it's just a matter of being really, really familiar with the scales and the arpeggios for each. So let's dig into some of the scales. For bar 1 and 2, what I would do personally is play over C melodic minor. And what's C melodic minor? It's none other than C major with an E flat. So C, D, E flat. So any ideas that come up here? Any ideas that want to come out of this realm, I would simply play on. And then as soon as I've an idea that's completed in my C minor, right? As soon as I have that down, then I start to think, well, I'm going to go to F, so we have to go to 4. So that's anything that's in the key of F major. Then I'm going to do 2 bars of that. So essentially, I'm going from C major to the 4 to F major, but I can prepare that while playing in bars 3 and 4. It doesn't matter if I do it in bars 3 and 4 or just in bar 3 or not at all. The important point is I get to that F major, which is our good old 4 chord, which is recognized everywhere in pop songs and blues and all of music forever, all the time. It's really important to go to 4, guys. So long as I have that in mind, I'm safe. And then, yeah, safety is a big issue for jazz musicians. So after that, I do the exact same process, but a whole step down. So I'm in F, and I start to go 2 frets. I'm like, okay, the next idea. And then there's sort of a quick turnaround. That's going to D flat. That's 2 frets down again, and then I'm back to C. So here's what I'm going to do for 2 choruses. I'm going to blatantly ignore whatever's happening starting in bar 9, 10. Like starting bar 10, I'm just not going to play. So as soon as I'm doing my C minor, I'm doing my F major, and I'm doing my E flat major. After that, I'm going to shut up and just play silence, which, by the way, the word listen is an anagram for the word silent. Interesting thing, right? So let me just solo and just see what comes out with C melodic minor, F major, and E flat major. Off we go. 1, 2, 3. F. E flat. Silent. Chords maybe. Again. F. E flat. Done. Good. So basically I've just given you the secret to the song. It's pretty straightforward. We didn't hear a lot of piano, I'm sorry, it's pretty tame on my iReel right now, but that's a secret to the song. Then, if you can muster it, you look at these bars, so starting with 9, so 9 you land on E flat major, then you go to 10, you go 2, 5 in D flat major. So that would be a good place to shed and to rehearse, like, or you know, shed all these lines that go from E flat minor 7 to A flat 7 to D flat, and after that, all you have to do, quote unquote, all you have to do is to really do a good job of your last bar of your 2-5, which is, you can just think in terms of a G altered if you wanted, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So let me do the strategy again. I'm going to increase the tempo ever so slightly if you guys want to follow along. So 132 for 2 choruses, and all I'm thinking about is C minor, F major, E flat major. I'm adding the D flat. Standards Navigator, baby. Let's do it. 2 repeats of that, and off we go, starting at the top. A 1 and 2, go 3. C. All right. So that's the approach of really simply going into the 1 minor key in these 3 major keys that are a whole step apart. Now the only next step I will leave you with is, of course, you gotta learn the melody. Of course, you gotta comp on the song like until you get blue in the face. You gotta practice the voicings and see where these things are going and resolve properly. It's a great rehearsal tune. So I have 2 more steps to do with you. So the first one is to start to encounter whatever altered dominance you could. So going into the C minor, I've started to hint at it in the last bar. You could do a G altered, you could do something like diminished, you could do something very tense. So something to the effect of like G7, sharp 9, flat 13, sharp 9, flat 13, flat 9. With the purpose of getting into your C, like really resolving. So what we can do when you're really good at shifting between the major keys, for now, and that's why it's such a good like beginner song at the same time as it's such an advanced song, is say in bar 4 I could start to play on C altered. If you want to make it super simple, you can think of the destination, which is our good old F, and just play stuff a half step above F and then resolve it. So each time you have a place you want to resolve to, you can increase the tension in the bar or bars prior into making this land. So if you're watching this on YouTube, again, you see on your screen, C minor becomes C altered for a while, and then it lands on F. And then that F stays there, and then B flat, it's B flat altered, lands on E flat. And then A flat altered, lands on D flat. And then G altered lands on, right? So it's not only the key centers that we talked about previously, but now we're adding the fact that, hey, we can create tension. We are privileged to hear and create the tensions we want to hear and resolve them properly. Typically for intermediate players, that's going to be a point of no return where you go, wow, like my playing really started to sound awesome. And it's simply because you've done these things. So let me maybe jot it down on the right. So this is not harmonic analysis anymore. It's what I'll be thinking of. I'll be thinking of C altered here. All right, C altered in bars 3 and 4, and bar 7 and 8, B flat 7 altered, and then bar 10, A flat 7 altered, and then last bar I'll just think G altered. So it means that you have to think like my brain. I'm thinking of the 4 places I want to be. So C minor, F major, E flat major, D flat major, and the 4 dominant, altered dominant that are 4th up from that, right? So I'm just maybe going to draw this on the screen, remove my guitar. So I'm thinking of 4 places I want to be, right? I'm thinking of going to C minor, C minor major 7. I'm thinking of going to F. I'm thinking of going to E flat major. I'm thinking to going to D flat major. So what do I need? I need something that tenses up the environment harmonically and melodically with the altered. So G7 alt going to C. C7 alt going to F. B flat 7 alt going to E flat, and A flat 7 alt going to D flat. And yes, before you answer, I'll answer you ahead of time. Should I do this with arpeggios as well? Yeah, you know, do the scales, do the arpeggios, do the pentatonic superimpositions while you balance on one foot, and I don't know, watch a Wayne Shorter documentary. Like, it all works, but the point is you have these points that you want to land on. So that's the second to last thing. I have one more advanced step. So first, let me just demonstrate for, maybe I'll do 4 choruses where you can play along and see where are the spots I really want to tense up that stuff. Let's go. C minor. Woo! All right, so this was very tense at times and on purpose, and I have to tell you, of the bane of my existence as a guitar instructor is I'm really trying to demonstrate that stuff. So I'm trying to get it away from my brain and towards you. So when I try to demonstrate, sometimes it may sound forced. Of course, the goal is to just make this sound seamless and natural and integrate this into your vocabulary. Last but not least, and fun thing for more advanced players, and before that, I'll just take a moment. Do you guys like this? Like, are you enjoying this? Thumbs up, yes or no? If you are, just let me know in a comment, all right? Or shoot me a quick email, because I may do a lot more of these, like Standards Navigator, where I'll do some harmonic analysis, and then I look into the song and go, oh, this is how you can improvise on whatever, you know, Round Midnight and Stella and all the things you are and whatever. So if you're interested in that sort of format, just let me know. Let me know what you like about it, what you'd like to be improved. Of course, spread the word, share with anyone you think might like that kind of content. Just like and subscribe, and let me know which songs I should do next. Basically, do you have a jam coming up or a gig? And if I can help, it's going to be my pleasure. All right, so last step is to do a all keys version. So I did that a lot to rehearse, and this is a function in iReal. This is a feature which I love. It's called practice transposition. So if I look at the key of the song, it's C. So if I want to go up, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go 5 half steps, it does mean that this will play back, and it will play back the 12 bars, but the next chorus of 12 bars, it's going to go and play a 4th up. So it's going to play an F minor in the next chorus. So what I did, if you can see my screen, again on YouTube, if you can't, for podcast guys, I'll tell you, I set up the last bar as G minor 7 flat 5 to C7 flat 9. Why am I doing this? Because when it goes to the second chorus, it will go in F minor. So I essentially set up a 2-5 minor in the next minor key of the song. So let me just play you the first chorus, which is in C minor, and it's going to go to F minor. So, right? Watch out. F minor. So, here's my thing. I set this up as 13 courses, or 12 or 13, and it does mean that I'll be playing one key per chorus. So each 12 bars, it's going up a fourth, up a fourth, up a fourth. So it's going to do so 12 times until it wraps up and doing C minor. So this is more advanced. This is if you're getting bored of the form and you really want to rehearse your scales, your licks. You want to find out where your tipping points are, if you're really able to go from 1 minor to 4 major in any or all of the keys. And it's a great it's a great laboratory if you want to just shred and shed and just find out like how poorly you're doing in certain areas, which is an exercise I've done for years. So if you did the entire 12 or 13 courses, it would take you about 4 minutes at 160, which I'm not going to do now, but maybe I'm going to play in 4 keys for you and then let you go. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I'll see you in the next video and podcast. Take care. Now we were at A flat, so thanks for watching. See you next time.